everybody for the open session of tonight's meeting. We would like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Robinson Superior Treaty Territory and that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and the Métis. Can I have approval of agenda? Any disclosures of interest? Hearing none, we have no delegations. So we'll get into the minutes of the previous meeting. Resolution 145-22. Moved by Councillor Stefuric, seconded by Councillor Morrow, that the minutes of the Council and Committee of the Whole meeting held June 14th, 2022 be accepted as circulated. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Business arising out of the Committee of the Whole recommendations. Resolution 146-22, moved by Councillor Sales, seconded by Councillor Stefuric. The Council authorized the Corporation of the Township of Schreiber 1/4 share of the payments to the Township of Terrace Bay for consulting fees from Investigative Solutions Network Incorporated to prepare a community safety and well-being plan in the amount of $8,137.50 plus applicable taxes. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Carried. Resolution 147-22, moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor McGrath. The Council adopt the Township of Schreiber Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan as prepared by Investigative Solutions Network Incorporated. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 148-22, moved by Councillor Stefuric, seconded by Councillor Morrow. The Council authorized the temporary closure of Hillview Street from where Hillview Street is intersected by Alberta Street through to where Hillview Street is intersected by Park Street, and that the closure take effect from July 1st, 2022, 11 a.m. to July 1st, 2022, 2 p.m. for events associated with Canada Day, and that the street be reopened to regular no later than 2:30 p.m. on July 1st, 2022. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 149-22, moved by Councillor McGrath, seconded by Councillor Stefuric. The Council accept the quotation from Express Automatic Door Services in the amount of $8,730 plus applicable taxes for supply and installation of automatic door operators. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 150-22. Moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor Sales. The council accept the quotation from Hunter and Thorne Electric Corporation in the amount of $669 plus applicable taxes for the installation of power for the automatic door operator at the municipal complex. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 151-22. Moved by Councillor Stefuric, seconded by Councillor McGrath. The council accept the quotation from T-Baytel in the amount of $6,637.26 plus applicable taxes for the installation of a security system at the Discovery Center, and the quotation in the amount of $27.95 per month plus applicable taxes for monitoring. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 152-22, moved by Councillor Morrow, seconded by Councillor Sales. The council authorize a donation of a t-shirt and a hat to the Terrace Bay Fish Derby Committee in the amount of $38.98, excluding applicable taxes, for the 33rd annual Terrace Bay Fish Derby to be held June 18th, 2022 to July 1st, 2022. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 153-22. Moved by Councillor McGrath, seconded by Councillor Stefuric, that the Council of the Township of Schreiber support Resolution 174-22 of the Municipality of Shunya with respect to the Community School Alliance Action Plan and social and economic impact for small communities in Ontario study. Discussion? None. All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 154-22, moved by Councillor Stefuric, seconded by Councillor Morrow, that the Council of the Township of Schreiber support the resolution of the City of Cambridge with respect to a request to the Province of Ontario for a plan of action to address joint and several liability. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Resolution 155-22, moved by Councillor Stefuric, seconded by Councillor McGrath, that Council approve the purchase of ceremonial tobacco in the amount of $53.50, including applicable taxes. All those in favor? Carried. Resolution, what was that, 156? Sorry.
That's 155.
Okay. Resolution 156-22, moved by Councillor Stefurek, seconded by Councillor Sales, that bylaw 25-2022 being a bylaw to authorize the delegation of authority to the CAO/clerk for certain acts during the lame duck period be given first, second, third, and final reading and enacted. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Oh, yeah. Resolution 157-22, moved by Councillor McGrath, seconded by Councillor Stefurek, that bylaw 26-22 being a bylaw to authorize the sale of lands 219 Main Street, Plan 55D111, Lot 1, and PT CPR bulk of land and PT R219 RP 55 R9226 Part 1 and RP 55 R8900 Part 2 to Robert Lupino be given first, second, third, and final reading and enacted. 219 Main Street. All those in favor? Carried. So we'll move on to the Committee of the Whole. Department reports and committee board minutes. Director of Operations status report.
I have a question on the water tank. Any update on that?
It has been sealed off, and I'm still waiting for EKT to get back to me with a plan. They were in conversations with Great Ontario to see if there was any structural pointers that they could give, or if there was going to be warranty, because they now think that the pipe collapsed on itself.
Right, there was not enough support on it.
Right. So no updates beyond that.
Was that pipe,
Plastic.
but was it clamped on or anything?
There was 2 points midway up that were supported, and the clamp was at the bottom at the 90-degree angle. That clamp is loose, and it probably slid down, and when it slid down, it kind of fell in on itself, is what they think happened.
So maybe a clamp up top would help.
Yes. They're also not sure that the joints were ever glued in. So it might have just popped out with the weight of the pipe. We're unclear.
And supposed to be glued.
We're not sure. That's what we're talking to Great Terrio about. And we're also researching the possibility of going through insurance because Aqua has that building insured. So I'm still exploring both options on that.
Okay.
The MECC inspection.
That went well. They were more concerned about the dechlor on the effluent side, and everything checked out fine there. We don't anticipate any negative reporting from them.
Okay, good.
Good.
So we got a full batch of summer students?
Yes,
How many?
I have 3, and Dominic has 3 for the Discovery Center.
Oh,
Awesome.
great news.
Yeah, they started, the ones for Tammy started last Thursday.
Right on. And the library got some too. Got one or
Oh,
two at the library. Oh, well, that's
Yeah,
good.
that's great.
Okay, Director of Operations line painting.
It's right there. Just having some issues with the camera.
Is it back live?
It is live, just
Okay.
that there's some technical issues with the display. We'll have to resolve that after the meeting, but it is live. The recommendation that council of the Township of Schreiber accept the quote from Laser Lines in the amount of $4,200 plus applicable taxes for the completion of street line painting.
Okay. There's a few, like who puts this list together?
I had no history to go on.
No.
So I was relying on Laser Lines history, and that is a list that they have done historically for the township.
Okay, because I noticed that the, like 2 kilometers of yellow center line, now hopefully that's down to the beach too, down to Schreiber Beach. And the white lines, I don't see the arena parking lot. And they usually do that too.
Okay. I'll
That's the
make
only
note of
things I-
that. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you look into that and just make sure and
Yep.
Okay, number 3, the Jack Stokes Medical Center security.
a recommendation here that council accept the quote from T. Batel in the amount of $1,295.10 plus applicable taxes to replace smoke detectors at the J. Stokes Medical Center.
Everybody on board with that?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number 4, Director of Operations report, municipal complex fire monitoring.
Recommendation that the council accept the quote from T. Batel in the amount of $5,281.94 plus applicable taxes for the installation of a wireless fire alarm system in the municipal complex.
Seeing no questions, everybody's good.
Yeah, makes sense.
Doug and Doug?
For sure.
Okay. Number 5, Viking hopper replacement.
Recommendation that council accept the quote from Gincor in the amount of $29,860 plus applicable taxes for a Viking L45 hopper spreader. And also the recommendation that council accept the quote from Strongco in the amount of $8,080 plus applicable taxes for the installation of a Viking L45 hopper spreader for the 2007 International Plow Truck.
It's in pretty rough shape. So,
Is that made out of aluminum?
no,
No way.
no.
Because all ours Vikings boxes are made out of aluminum, so they don't rust.
Yeah, you can get the stainless steel box, but
Yeah. Cost-wise, it's probably
I can let Tammy speak to it. But
probably cost.
if you get the stainless steel one now, then I don't know if there's enough life left in the truck. Like, I mean, so you may as well go with just the steel.
For the cost of the aluminum or stainless steel versus the life in the truck, you'd never get your money back out of it.
Yeah.
How long did that hopper last? How many years?
15.
Well, it's a 2007 truck, and that's the original box on it, I'm told.
Okay, so,
We've got 50,000 kilometers on the truck.
Yeah,
There's
so-
lots of life left in the truck.
so another 15 years.
That's pretty good for 15 years old.
Aye?
I said, that's pretty good for 15 years old, 50,000 kilometers.
I remember that day when it showed up, we thought it was showing up with a dump box. It showed up with that box, and we said, oh, well, one thing for sure, that the truck will last long.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're all on board with that then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Recreation program report, Heritage Days Parade.
Recommendation that the recreation programmer be authorized to proceed with notifying the necessary departments and emergency services of the road closure on Winnipeg Street between Drummond Street and Scotia Street, Scotia Street between Winnipeg Street and Subway Street, Subway Street between Scotia Street and Winnipeg Street, Winnipeg Street between Subway Street and Alberta Street, and Alberta Street between Winnipeg Street to Erie Street on July 24th, 2022 from 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. for the Heritage Days Parade.
Everybody okay with it?
Sounds good.
Is
Okay.
there a alternate plan if it's raining?
I don't think so.
The parade, the festivities will be at
The
the,
arena?
The report says if it rains, the parade is canceled.
Yeah.
the parade.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the festivities will move to the arena.
Okay.
Okay, number 7, Recreation Program Report, the Discovery Center grand opening.
Two recommendations here. The first, that the recreation programmer be authorized to proceed with the planning and preparation of the Schreiber Discovery Center grand opening. Second, that the recreation programmer be authorized to proceed with notifying the necessary departments and emergency services of the closure on Walker Lake Road from the Schreiber Discovery Center to Newman Street on July 16th, 2022 from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. for the grand opening.
Why are they closing the road?
The road would be closed for that train. It would be
Shiners,
the Shriners
Oh,
train.
right, right.
Kids go for a ride.
Any more discussion on that? Is everybody okay with that?
Mm.
Okay. Schreiber Public Library Board meeting minutes. Here, no discussion. Number 9, Aqua, the wastewater monthly operations report, May. Okay, nothing, no questions on that, so we'll move right into question period.
No questions this time. As you can see, I put forward a draft procedural bylaw that we'll get to later on in the agenda, and the question period would be moved to right after delegations. And I can explain in that when that agenda item comes what the changes would be in more detail.
Okay, we'll move into communications.
The only thing I see, we could show some support for number 4 from the town of Aurora. And which deals with violence against women.
Yeah.
Like, I guess the bill, and it refers to bill, try to find it here.
C233.
Yeah.
And it's going to raise the level of education on domestic violence and coercive control for federally appointed judges.
Yeah, so it would offer, I guess the idea is to afford more protection for women against domestic violence and to educate the judges on how to handle that type of case.
Yeah, I can support that. Okay, we'll support that one. Understand. Hearing no more on communications, we'll go into unfinished business and preliminary budget report. Marlene speak into it?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you have a couple of the departments that are being presented in front of you. I will tell you that there are some changes that will need to be made on some of them. We are using right now under your administration department, which is your general administration for the municipality, includes council, treasury administration, and bylaw. We're using a 5-year average for the revenues that are up there. There may be some potential for under the council expense section to reduce that sum. However, the numbers that are there presented in front of you do represent the 5-year average from 15 to 18 because 20, 21, and 22 so far to date really are not reflective of normal activity. You'll also note that there isn't anything in there for the election that was an oversight, so there will need to be some cost associated with the election this year because there is a municipal election this year. We do have some increases to the sort of human resource costs due to some relief training and dual coverage for retirement and such. And that's pretty much that for that on that one. In the buildings department, we're pretty consistent with the rent. We have used, for really the majority of the buildings, it's pretty much status quo. I will, remind council that it was a 37% increase to the cost of propane for 2022. And in the one section on the vested properties, the one property that we were significantly protecting the interest of it was sold in early 2022, so there's some savings in there on that section. Under the miscellaneous section, again, it's mostly status quo around here. A lot of this, around these sections, a lot of it is beyond the control of anything at the council level. For the handy transit, I used the 2017 to 2019 ridership, the average for that, because we are getting back sort of to normal in there. Home support is standard. It is dependent on Mother Nature and how much people use the program. For the building inspection section, we did have in 2021 a couple significant building permits that were issued. For the development side, we're not budgeting anything in the expense or transfer from reserve for 2022 at this point in time. That's generally where we budget, and if we're doing any kind of demolitions or anything like that, the cost that would be to the community. The year-end 2021 balance is the cost of the designated substance surveys that were done on 4 of the properties. I did send an email out earlier today to see, to check for availability for a special council meeting for next Friday at 9. I have received positive responses from 2 of the 5 of you. I just wondered if anybody else knew of their availability at this time.
Yeah, I could be there. Sorry, I just saw it now.
Oh, no problem. No.
I can be there.
You can be there, yeah?
Yeah, I could be there. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I'm good too.
Perfect. That's great. So we do have quorum, so we'll put it for Friday at 9 then.
9 a.m.
The 8th. Okay,
Next Friday.
great, the 8th.
Yeah.
I just have one question on the first page, Marlene.
Sure.
The 4th line down under revenue provincial REB SRA, what does that refer to?
So that was some of the Safe Restart funding that the province gave, and I believe that the majority of that, but I haven't completely vetted it, will have been spent in 21. So there wouldn't be anything to bring forward in 2022 from that. So that was to cover a lot of the COVID-related expenditures that happened.
Right, okay, got it.
Okay, and right at the end, pretty much at the end for the municipal complex, the heating fuel, that's for this year, or last year, I mean, sorry.
And the middle column is for last year, yes.
Okay, I've been meaning to ask you to get the last 2 years, I keep forgetting, but, okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty much, would pretty much be the same as the previous year, roughly.
It's pretty consistent. Sometimes again, it depends on what the temperature does.
Okay.
So are we looking at getting like a graph done by this special meeting then?
Oh, are we looking at what?
Getting the budget kind of close to done at the special meeting?
What we would be presenting is like the budget.
Yeah, okay.
to you. Yes.
And then we can go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that.
Thanks, Marlene.
Okay, 2022 AMO Annual General Meeting and Conference.
As, we can get any confirmations for availability by Friday. We've canceled our reservations. That being said, if there's anything of importance in terms of delegations, I could still send out a letter to the MPPs responsible. I mean, I imagine we'd want to follow up again, especially with our wastewater treatment plant and the dechlorination. That's something that we're still looking for funding. As for the electrical upgrades, I'm hoping to utilize some of our OCAF funding to cover that. I have to wait for confirmation from OCAF staff. We should have portion of that OCAF money that could substantially cover costs, as they've doubled the amount of money that they've been providing to us. I believe it's roughly now about around 140,000 per year. So that is some good news, and wastewater treatment plants are on the list of eligibility, but I'd like to have them confirm this project in writing before I can confirm it to you. We can use it for this, so.
Good news.
Okay, then we'll go to summer meeting schedule.
In terms of a summer meeting schedule here, we're thinking the meeting in July to do it on Tuesday, July 19th and August 30th. For August. They're both Tuesdays.
Okay.
Is everyone available?
Is that August 30th?
Should be good.
Tuesday, that's during Heritage Days, eh?
Yeah, it depends
Would
what's
be during
happening.
Heritage Days.
And what was the August one? August 30th?
Yep.
August 30th?
And we can work within that week for the July meeting. It depends, right? There is an event going on there.
Is that Family Feud or?
Adult Portugal.
Portugal, okay.
Do you prefer us to reschedule around that time? We could do it earlier, potentially in the day as well.
Battle Portugal, are you in that? Anybody in that?
I don't know.
Oh, that should work, I guess.
I think so, yeah.
If that's all that's going on.
So if you're in the beer gardens,
I don't have the brochure with me, so.
I checked with Evan, he said that was what was happening that
That
night.
was it, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It
Okay,
should,
and August 30th.
Yep.
Don't want it on the 23rd, the day after.
August 30th, I might be out of town.
Oh, okay. The 23rd, it's gonna be,
Right, okay.
yeah, it's
I'm
gonna
out
be a
of town
busier week.
that week.
Pardon me?
I'm out of town.
Okay.
And I might be out of town that week too, 23rd, so
It's always the tricky part with
vacation, yeah, for sure.
with these meetings is not just for council, also with staff vacations,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, definitely, we gotta make it work.
Yeah. But the good news is it's everyone's having their vacations all over the place, so you'll see less resolutions coming in and things would be slowing down. And of course, we will always have a special council meeting should anything substantial have to happen. If it means that I have to join you remotely,
Okay, we'll go with them 2 dates and
That would be quite a break during August, but
yeah, I mean,
that's fine.
things slow down a bit, but of course, anything major that pops up, we will make sure we get it covered with a special council meeting.
Okay. We'll move into other business. Number 1. Draft rescission bylaw.
This bylaw is a bylaw to rescind our COVID-19 policies or protocols and procedures. Simply all it will do is remove it from the policy binder. Doesn't mean I'm going to be putting it in the shredder. It means, you know, I still have the file and document should it ever need to be used again. Hopefully we're in the clear.
We're gonna put it on the shelf.
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
draft procedural bylaw.
The main changes here for the draft procedural bylaw is the inclusion of the movement of the question period right after delegations. And the idea now is in order to receive questions, it would be similar to how I receive requests for delegations. Someone can send me an email, and the idea is for anyone who may have questions, for instance, pertaining to this meeting, if they're watching it live now, if they have any questions that they want to bring forward, what they would do is send me an email, and what I will do is I'd gather those questions while I'm setting the agenda for our next meeting, and present those questions at question period that would be right after delegation. So that way, council would have the opportunity to hear from the public prior to making any council-related, approving any council-related resolutions or bylaws. So it allows the public to have an opportunity to voice their opinion. And it also then allows staff, for instance, to also look at those questions and in some circumstances help research and answer. That way, no one's ambushed, and we would be able to provide an answer. There's a clause there that says again, and of course this is always going to be there. Council's not obligated to answer any questions that you may not necessarily have an answer to. But certainly those questions would be voiced during that question period time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sounds good.
There's also the section for, I was going to say here, let's go in that. Question period is Article 15, just so you know if you want to take a look there. The other component is electronic participation, and I've left that the same. Basically, right now, what's written in the procedural bylaw is that electronic participation will really only be allowed during a declaration of emergency. So the expectation is for councillors to be present at the table still. Should you ever wish to change that, you can always do it. You just have to request that change. Do keep in mind, right? It's a different means to joining in and participating in the meeting.
So is the plan to have the public continue to participate virtually for the foreseeable future, or are we opening the doors?
So the doors are open to the public.
Okay.
Yep. Doors are open, so but I would recommend, again, we continue live streaming everything and keeping the recordings. I think it's more accessible means for individuals to participate.
So could a person potentially come to a meeting and ask a question at the beginning of that meeting without emailing you first?
No, it would have to be sent prior to me making the agenda. So basically the agenda time would be the cutoff for the question. Now if there's a question after that Thursday agenda preparation date, I'll have to then put that question in the next meeting. But the reason for that is, again, just so that we have an appropriate amount of time in order to
No, I get that, yeah.
research questions. It allows even council, right? You would see what that question is, so you would have the ability to even touch base with staff in order to prepare a good quality answer to that question.
Okay.
Number 3, draft sale and other dispositions of land bylaw.
Really what I've done here is simplified this bylaw. The wording was a bit complex before. Simplified it so it's just straightforward to read through. It clarifies sale of vacant lots as well. So now it reads, for the sale of vacant lots, a vacant lot is defined as a lot which does not contain an established principal use under the township's most current zoning bylaw. A site plan with proposed development shall be provided with purchase offers for vacant lots owned by the township. Development of the property shall commence within 2 years and be completed within 3 years of the closing date of the transaction, or the property may be returned to the ownership of the township. Keyword is may. We're no longer saying shall. It gives us the opportunity to have that discretion should we need to. For some reason you don't want the property back.
Right.
Other than that, it's fairly straightforward. Everything would have to be declared surplus prior to it being sold. We'd have to get some sort of appraisal of the property. Bylaw would have to be passed, an open meeting to sell the property. So, all of that is really the submission for. Okay?
Yep, good with that. Draft work order policy.
This is, we have a current work order policy dating back, it was still in the 1990s. This policy is going to be replacing that. We updated our work order policy form. It just has a bit of a formatting issue here. Font wasn't really picked up to the reader. But in reality, once we print it out, it will be fine. It's just a display issue. The idea here is to continue formalizing work order forms, and the idea here is to again capture any maintenance-related work for our properties and document it. And of course, we're now investing in our new asset management plans. We're investing in citywide asset management software, and right now we're working on building a maintenance manager in our citywide software. So eventually what we're hoping to do is to capture whatever's written in these physical work order forms and type them up into the maintenance manager in citywide. And what that will allow us to do is input updates for the asset's value, whether it's whatever maintenance work that was done on that asset. If it's any sort of betterment on that asset, we would then be able to again capture that value on there in the citywide software. So again, it's a bit of it's a process, but it will be a good process to document and eventually have data provided on our assets.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks for that, Nathan. That brings the meeting to an end. Resolution 158-22, moved by Councillor Sales, seconded by Councillor Stefuric, that the meeting now adjourned at 7:51 p.m.